Well, because people who enjoy the channel like some of the model train layouts, this is the extended cut of Bill Otter's railroad, because you're going to ask for more, so I'm going to give it to you right off the bat today. So here's extended cut of the Papa Choo-Choo's railroad, and of course we're with Bill Otter. Bill, good to see you.
Hello, good morning.
How are you?
Good, fine, thanks. Welcome to the Geneva Northwestern.
Good, good. And this is the extended cut video, so we're going to take a little more time. So, Bill, you're a former railroad operations person for the Chicago Northwestern.
Right.
And you in your basement have decided to put what I affectionately call the triple-decker sandwich layout together since 1993. And just so people see where we're going, here's what I mean by the triple-decker layout. And we've got Bruce helping us out today. Bruce, good to see you. And share with us, this layout is not a loop.
No, this is a point-to-point railroad. There are loops in it, but this is an operating railroad. We don't try to replicate the exact appearance of various towns and so forth. And it's a point-to-point with 6 operating divisions. And we try to operate just like a real railroad, and we take product from the mines all the way to the consumer, and we also take people to and from all the places they want to go. So we try to run it like a real railroad, and we enjoy doing that.
Yeah, let's do that. We start at Chicago's Union Station, and we've got the glass cover on top of here because, as you can see, he has so many wonderful trains. And I'll take you level by level, and I'll take my time so you can see that. And as you can see, Union Station here, we're going to have a train coming in, which I'll show you. We've got...
This is a Chicago Northwestern commuter coming in from the suburbs, Lou.
Okay.
Coming in on track 4. There are 16 tracks in the depot, and holds 120 car lengths, passenger car lengths.
So it holds 120 cars. And just like the real Northwestern, here it is coming in to the station.
This is a morning rush hour train. He's got 4 bi-levels. There we go.
So really the challenge, Bill, is you never got over working for the railroad. You just decided to do it at home.
Right.
Okay. Tell me about your L that you have here.
This is our Chicago Elevated, Lou, and if you look down right here, maybe it looks like Wabash Avenue downtown. So, and we have old North Shore cars up on the top, and we've got city streets. We've got the combined bus garage over here, and
this is all so well done.
Well, we were lucky to have Jim helped us build, and he built the structure for us from kits, and then we built the other structure with Joe. And
stay with me.
we have a team that helps.
Tell me about the team for a second, because
Well,
this is, I mean, how you've gotten people to come down and dedicate themselves to your environment. This is just amazing.
We have a fantastic team. The different team members, besides Bruce here, they're actually all jack of all trades, and Kath has helped us with a lot of the wiring and painting and other work, and Joe is a master mechanic and a very good construction person, excellent with detail. Bruce has got all kinds of imagination. He helped us design an operating bridge in the other room. Liz from B&G Hobbies in Elgin is the one that started helping us with building and painting the mountains, and Mike, who runs B&G Train World in Elgin, is the one that supplied a lot of the stuff for us. So this is the leads to Union Station, you see, and that's the Glacier Express backing in, and hey, it's going to hit the pole. There we go, and it just got to where it's going. So here, this is the entrance to Union Station, but this is the Archer Daniels Midland grain plant here, and we take grain in from the country. We also make ethanol here, corn oil, soybean oil. We make dried distiller's grain here, and we consume coal. This is we also ship via the port of Chicago, and this is a very high volume customer, and we switch that plant 3 times a day. and you're moving down to the area of our engine house. This is our consolidated Chicago engine house, and it's a pretty busy place because all the railroads use a single engine house. Lou, we've got the Milwaukee Road, the Northwestern, we've got some a Mexican engine from TFM, Kansas City, Southern New Mexico, and so this is the place where we get all the service for all of our power. There's other satellite locations throughout the railroad. And you see that we use a lot of the older F7 power. That's because we have a lot of mountains on the railroad and they do a very good job on the tight curves and so forth. And over on your right, right past the engine house, you can begin to see our, that's Pacific Junction over there in the corner right there. And I'm going to talk to Bruce here. Bruce, I've been looking for First 56. The mail train is he showing pretty soon?
Yep, he'll be coming.
Okay, so you know we're still pretty early in the morning, so the fast mail from Minneapolis, the first section, will be coming in shortly.
Now, one of the questions people are going to have is how do you get from layer to layer? And we'll get to that, but I want to show you it's through this wall that there's a room behind this, and I'll show you that. That's basically a spindle, but it's a decorated spindle. Nothing that Bill has here doesn't look complete. This is just so over the top and amazing.
Well, this is our Western Avenue freight yard, and this is really our main Chicago yard. We have a regular freight in this yard, or what they call manifest freight, and then over on the other side.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the other side. To get to the other side, I'm going to need to do
Go
this.
in the tunnel here.
This
Keep
is
your
the
head
tunnel.
down.
Yep, I will.
And on the other side, we've got our intermodal facility. Got piggyback tracks here in the front, and in the back we've got our Stack Train International Container Yard. And as you can see, we have some very, very loyal customers that give us a lot of repeat business. This is the Chicago Northwestern's Falcon. This is train 245, and this is a Union Pacific UPS train. This actually operates in conjunction with the Burlington, UPS, and Union Pacific.
What do we have in the back end there?
Well, that's the Masabi, the DM and IR, and that's an ore train that's coming down from Upper Michigan here, and right over here to your left, Lou, is Iron Mountain. And Iron Mountain is a great place because this is where we get iron ore from Michigan. We transport this iron ore, which is the red product, and that goes to the steel mill. We also take other products to the steel mill like scrap, limestone, and so forth. And the steel mill's in South Milwaukee, and there we produce all kinds of steel products. We'll get to that later. So that's what's here in Iron Mountain.
That's
And
what's here.
Right
in
over
Iron
here,
Mountain.
where you are viewing right now, you're in the back door of the Safeway Distribution Center. That's a food chain, and you're looking at the dry side, and as you swing to the left, you're looking at the refrigerated side. So we get product in from all around the United States that goes there and then gets distributed to
That's
consumers, grocery stores, and so forth.
amazing. What train's running past us, guys?
That's First 56. He's the fast mail from Minneapolis and St. Paul. He really is made up of two trains, and so there's a Minneapolis section and a St. Paul section. And because the starting to be the holiday time now, there is a second section behind him that's coming from Minneapolis also, and that's entirely cars going to East Coast Connection Railroads. Second 56. He'll be along in a little while. Usually about 15 or 20 minutes between them. Here he is right here coming through the tunnel. And this first section is the Minneapolis section. And then beginning with this car, express box car, this is the St. Paul section. Back in and pick them up at St. Paul.
All right, let me shift momentarily to what I'm going to call level 2 of our sandwich. So,
Well, down here, Lou, you just arrived in Milwaukee. You're in downtown Milwaukee. And what you're looking at there is the Milwaukee plant for the Janesville Sand and Gravel Company. They produce riprap rock, road gravel, silica sand for fracking and glass making and so forth. The plant, there you go, that's where it is. And this is a very busy plant. that has a lot of output every day. Here on your, as you go to the left, keep going on the left side, you'll see the Drano plant with those orange tank cars. We get acid from the refinery in Tacoma and plastic pellets and cardboard boxes there, and so a lot of the Drano product that people use is actually made right here. And then on your left, we have the Milwaukee passenger station for the Milwaukee Road. Northwestern uses it also. And here we have a lot of trains that branch off that go to various lines in Wisconsin and also up to the Twin Cities. So this is the first major station from Chicago for the Hiawathas and the trains going to the Pacific. And then as you come this way, come out away from the main downtown Milwaukee area, you get over here towards the Milwaukee Coach Yard, down over in here, and this is where we have the freight house and we keep extra equipment down in here. And there's a light residential, a light business district in there. And it's a pretty busy metropolitan area. And we get a lot of express and mail and handled here. We also keep extra cars in case we need to add cars because we have very heavy business on this railroad. So this is where a lot of the Milwaukee business goes to and from the railroad. And back in the corner, Lou, is how we connect the Wisconsin division to the Junction division to get to different layers.
And that goes through the wall back there again, and we'll show you where that goes.
And this is our cement distribution plant, and also a bulk tank. This is a fuel coming from the refinery, goes here to support the Milwaukee area. We get the various diesel and gasoline products come in here. We have a commuter train here that goes to Chicago. It lays overnight here. Over in here we have hardware warehouses and the Milwaukee Beer and Ale plant. And of course, a lot of business there, especially with Cub games.
Oh yeah, that's a good spot.
Right. And around the curve behind there, you can see the train cuts around through the deep cut. That goes to the Junction division also. That's actually the track to the Junction division.
Does that go through the wall?
Yeah, it goes through the wall.
Okay.
And then right here in front of you here, you have twin tunnel portals. That goes to Madison, Wisconsin that way. There's a little ridge here that we had to get
So that
through.
goes through the wall?
That goes through the wall also.
All right.
It goes over behind the furnace.
That's great. We'll see that.
Well, then when we get down here further, we're getting into the steel mill at South Milwaukee. This is a pretty good sized facility. And here we take in iron ore, scrap iron, limestone, and we make steel. We make it both ways, electric furnace and the hearth method. And this is a hot metal train out front. We have another hot metal train that's delivering up in North Milwaukee. Now we have two of them. And the various cars for the mill, we switch that 24 hours a day. And then here is a power plant. And this is where we unload the unit trains of coal from Wyoming right here. And as you see here, there's a rear of a train. And this is where the freight trains coming to South Milwaukee arrive in this area. So this track right here is the lead for the coal trains, so they're going slow when they're unloading. And then this is a main, and this is a main also. So here you can see the product in. This particular mill makes coiled steel, bridge beams, billets or slabs, pipe, and plate. So and some of the plate's pretty thick and goes for construction of boats and so forth. And so you can see we have, you also notice that the caterpillars from Hulcher, the people that pick up train wrecks, they're back there, they get a lot of work in the mill. So we also get scrap iron in here, and we make several different kinds of steel. These cars here are special ore coming from the Redstone division, and that we make special alloy steel in this mill that you can't get anywhere else, and it's very secret stuff, and it's a lot of demand for it. This is our outbound yard where we receive trains and make trains up. This fella here is leaving to go to the EJ&E. Heavy drag, SD38 on the point. Doesn't go very fast, but he pays the bills.
Pays the bills. Let's go to the bottom layer of
Oh,
our
you
triple
just-
decker sandwich.
You just arrived in Florida. This is where all of our Chicago to Florida trains come in. You're actually at Lily Lake. Lily Lake's named after our granddaughter.
Nice.
And so we've got flamingos there. Unfortunately, the crocodiles are on backorder loop.
Okay.
Okay, so we have some people enjoying the lake, and one guy over there, way over on the end, caught a really big fish. The guy
Let's
over there
go
by
take
the
a look.
boat. Now, the other thing about this location is it's in the citrus belt. And so you're looking at the Valley Citrus packing plant over there. They pack oranges, grapefruits, and so forth. And we have a train every night of refrigerator cars that goes up to the northern sections of the railroad because people love the citrus.
Let me
The
come around
railroads
this
that
way.
serve down here, the Atlantic Coastline, the Florida East Coast, Illinois Central, Pennsylvania, and the Eastern Railroads, they all have trains that arrive and stay overnight down here. This area is really a staging yard for that Florida fleet. And I think last count, I think there's 11 Florida trains in the fleet. Overall, the railroad has about 180 locomotives, about 280 passenger cars, about 1,000 freight cars, last count. But you know, sometimes count can be off by a little bit. This is, in the days of the passenger trains, this is one of the most popular stations because people from the Northeast and Chicago and so forth would come to Florida and winter here in this area. And that's why there were so many trains between Chicago and Florida. And they all run here. Atlantic Coastline, Seaboard, Louisville and Nashville. And there's also a Florida mail train that you just went by with the purple and silver engines. And as you see in your right, all that treat area, that is how you connect the Florida division up to the Junction division. And as you said, the Junction division is a helix or a big spiral. And it goes from the floor to the ceiling, connecting all of our divisions together. And of course, out in this area, sometimes, you know, with all this Florida swamp out in here, once in a while we get alligators on the track and stuff, and sometimes they get bent up a little bit if they're there when a train's trying to come through. Now you're reaching over into the area of the far reaches of the UP division, or where we go to Colorado and Wyoming. This is a big grain elevator where we originate an awful lot of grain, corn, soybeans, and that goes up to ADM up in Chicago. It also goes to the port of Tacoma and Seattle for export. We also have the PFE, Pacific Fruit Express refrigerator terminal here. And this is one of our big customers down here is Pilot Brothers. You see how we spell that on the sign there. So this is Pilot Brothers Scrap, and these folks are railroad scrap brokers. And they cut up railroad engines and cars and take off old scrap wheels and stuff like that. And that all gets shipped to the steel mill, part of the scrap process, for recycling. The railroad is very big on recycling materials in all forms. You're looking at the connection between the UP division and the Junction division there. In the far track is the inbound, and then the closed track by the tower is the outbound. This is our version of North Platte Yard on the UP. Of course, we call it mud flats, but that's the way it goes. These are trains ready to go. We also have a terminal here for Schneider and another terminal down there for Union Pacific. I'm sorry, for UPS. Got one of our piggyback trains just pulled in. And you can see a Schneider stack train ready to go. There's a JB Hunt train here. We've also got an ethanol train and one of the sections of the military train here. And a train full of produce from California is here getting ready to go to Chicago. That's the yard that you're looking at. That yard over on the right is the one that services the switching local industries on this level. And we originate trains from this yard. Most of the time with the road power because trains are so heavy and they have to go through the mountains. Now as you continue that direction, you're coming upon the Twin Cities distribution where all the trailers are. And this is like a fulfillment center. And there's the tower there at the end of the Council Bluffs Council Bluffs terminal, mail terminal. In the days of cabooses, those were pretty good cabooses, the one you just videoed. So that distribution center, Twin Cities Distribution, we receive product in there via containers and via boxcars, and it goes out via truck lines, customers, FedEx, UPS, and product goes all over the United States from that distribution center. It's a big industry for this part of town and a real, it keeps a lot of people working. Over here on your right is the Laramie Station in Wyoming. We've got a Southern Pacific train in here right this minute detouring. Southern Pacific Daylight's got no business being on this route, but that's where it showed up today. So, and we have a Wyoming coal train from the Powder River Basin on the second main. He's over there at the mine loading. This plant back down in here is a Crisco plant. They take soybean oil, corn oil, and make vegetable oil for cooking. And they take plastic pellets in there and make their own bottles and ship that all. A lot of that goes up to the Safeway distribution center. The plastics come from the refinery, and the paper comes from the paper mill in Wisconsin to make the cartons to ship all those plastic bottles. Over here is Laramie. Laramie Pipe and Coil is the name of this industry. And here we get coiled steel and various types of pipe from the steel mill in South Milwaukee, and it gets distributed throughout this area. A lot of the pipe goes for the new pipelines and so forth, water and petroleum. This is also the staging yard over here on this side of Laramie Pipe and Coil is where we stage the Union Pacific City trains that run between the City of Los Angeles, City of San Francisco, City of Portland, City of Denver, Challenger, and we also have the Pacific Mail. These trains operate between here and the Union Station in Chicago. 4 of these trains arrive on 15-minute headways in mid-morning, and they leave, headed back out in the late afternoon. So it gets pretty busy at Union Station when the fleet's in up there. You know, Lou, it might be a good idea for us to go to the junction room to see where all these things connect. What do you think?
I think that's a great idea. What we're going to do, though, to keep everybody on their pins and needles, is we're going to do that, Bill, on the extended layout 2 video, because I just want to feature this section here. I don't know if I got this section, so I want to stay in this room for extended cut 1, and then we'll go definitely to the other 2 rooms that you can see. And this
is the other side of Iron Mountain that you're looking at, and that's the trestle. You're looking right down the end of the trestle that reaches down and goes to the Chicago division. Here you're back down in the Chicago commuter territory. This is the Milwaukee Road commuters, the old standard 6-axle cars with GP9s, and then we also have the Chicago Northwestern bi-level commuter trains that park overnight on the other side. Deerfield and Highland Park are the places that we have here. Here's some lumber from Canyon out on the Pacific Coast, on the Coast Division, and we have some ballast. All of our red rock product, including the ore and stuff, comes from the Redstone subdivision out there, the Redstone branch.
Tell me about this unit here.
Oh, this is a Duluth Mesabian Iron Range. This is actually This particular engine's a 4884, and it was used to haul iron ore from the Mesabi Range in Minnesota above Duluth down to the ports. And Port of Duluth.
That's a beautiful engine. Does that run?
That one doesn't right now.
Yeah, okay, it looks
It's,
great
it's
though.
overdue its FRA inspection, so you know it's sitting
It's
there.
waiting.
It's yeah,
It's
right,
waiting.
right.
I want to get this whole
This
top
is
half of the
Safeway.
layout.
So what you're looking at here is you're looking at the cold side, and there's the refrigeration unit. This is where all the produce, fruit, so forth comes. And here is the entrance to the big intermodal terminal. This is the check-in gate right here. And we have a lot of business here. We have containers coming in here. We have piggyback, and we have United Parcel. And this is also one of the suburban bus terminals. You know, you saw three kinds of buses. We have the green ones, which are the city buses. These yellow and green striped guys, those are the suburban buses. And then we have Greyhounds.
I want to just show some of the layers from this side.
Okay, down here, we're back at the Drano plant here, and the Janesville Sand and Gravel Milwaukee plant. These cars in front, the little 2960 cube covered hoppers are for sand, and then the cars in the middle are for gravel and rock, various types. In here at the Drano plant, we take plastic pellets in there, we make bottles, we use coal. We take cardboard in, paper from the paper plant, and make cartons out of it. And then the tank cars back there with the acid in it, when the Drano is made, it gets made dropped into the bottles, and the bottles get put in the cartons, and they put back in the box cars. So we get a load both ways. This is the back side of Twin Cities Distribution and the UP staging yard. That's Red Cut over there, that place right there.
Bill, let's stand up for a moment.
Okay.
Bill, how many engines do you think you have on this layout? Just a guesstimate, because I'm sure you probably don't know the actual number.
I think I told you before we had around 180, but I think that might be a little bit more than that right now. It might be like about 185.
How about passenger cars, and
Probably about 280.
how about actual rail
Freight
cars?
cars.
Freight cars?
About 1,000,
About 1,000. Bill,
give or take.
this is the end of extended cut 1. I want to show people where we're going to go for extended cut 2 so they can see that.
All right.
Extended cut 2 has 2 areas for you that I'm going to feature at great length. Here is where they all switch in and out of the yard from the other room, how they get to the different layers. I'll take you through that in a snapshot in great detail. And then lastly, it comes across the top here, as you can see, and comes into this,
This is the
and this-
Pacific Coast.
and this will be
Northwest.
extended cut 2 with Bruce again. All right, Bruce, jump right next to Bill there if you would. All right, guys, thanks so much. We're looking forward to extended cut 2.
Come on back soon. Bye-bye. Thanks.